Alrighty, we can talk a little bit more about long division today. Hopefully, things went pretty decent with you yesterday. The next piece we're actually going to move on is kind of a shortcut for long division. It works only for certain scenarios. You'll see that in the notes today, but it is certainly faster. So it's called synthetic division. We'll get to that today. You do still have to be able to do long division, so it's not like I just taught you something you didn't need. Long division you do need for certain, depending on how complicated this factor is. So we're going to see that in the notes today. But anyway, the skill we learned was long division yesterday. So let's recap it again here. So we got our dividend. It's getting divided by our divisor. So we put our, probably should have left myself a little better space for this, but I can probably do it right here. Okay, sorry. So I'll put my divisor out here. I'll put my dividend underneath. Pay attention, there is no x term, so that might come into play. It might not. It all depends how the problem shakes out. All right, so we look at this. We say 2x would need to get multiplied by what to become a 2x to the third? We'd have to multiply it by an x squared. So that way, that gives me the 2x to the third. So those terms would cancel. And then I'm going to get a plus 2x squared. Remember, this has to get subtracted. This seems to always be where people go wrong or make errors on these. So this subtracts from here, obviously, to cancel them out. X squared minus 2. So basically, that's 1 minus 2 would give you a negative x squared. And then this can go ahead and just come down with it because nothing's affecting that yet. All right, so on to the next one. So now we're looking at this. And this is where things actually sometimes get a little tricky. You say, what would I have to multiply this by to get it down to a negative 1? And again, kind of a weird one here. You have to multiply this by a negative 1/2. So 2 times negative 1/2 will get you to a negative 1. And then you got to also multiply it by an x to get it to an x squared. That's a pretty tricky one. I don't think we saw a fraction one in the practice, but it is a thing that can happen. It's not super common, but it's a good one to see. All right, so again, when we multiply that, we're going to get a minus x squared, and then we're going to get a 2 times a half would be a minus x. And we're going to subtract. So again, those will be opposites of each other. Now, there's no x here. So remember, let's treat this like a 0x. So it's like you have 0x minus a negative x. So 0x plus x is just x. And the minus 5 comes down again. And it looks like we got to do basically the same move one more time here, where we're going to need to multiply this by 1/2 in order to get it down to just a 1x. Okay, and that'll be it. So the 1/2 times the 2 gives us x. 1/2 times the 2 there gives us plus 1. We subtract. X's are gone. Negative 5 minus 1 is a negative 6. And that's going to be our remainder because there's no x to put with it there. So we're going to have plus the negative 6 over our divisor. So it's actually a fairly tough one here. So like I said, fractions do happen sometimes. We won't see actually too many where we end up having to use fractions like we did in this one, but it is a possibility. So just kind of keep that in mind that it can happen. Again, it doesn't always, but definitely can. So this one's going to be our quotient or our answer to the problem, and that's what we're looking for. So moving on today, like I said, we'll learn sort of a shortcut. The shortcut actually would not work for this problem, so what you're going to learn is it has to be what we call a pure linear factor or a clean linear factor where it's just x plus or minus some number. So if you ever have a 2 here or like any number in front or any power, you still have to do long division. So we'll talk about that in the notes.